Hello everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have some stuff to say before the video starts today. First and foremost, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Mechwarrior Online. Wednesday night, the big Fallout Equestria game that so many of you like to attend and see. Saturday, we have our podcast for Reviewers Web with our first guest, A Night of Dreams, and the drunk stream at night writing, which you will take note, I did do that this week and I'm going to continue those. And lastly, we have Sunday Battletech RPG. The schedule is on the screen. Links are in the description below. Come see some giant robot and robot action, the adventures of Wandering Sunrise and her crew of Wastelanders in Fallout Equestria, or, if you really want, you can come see how Archer deals with being a mech pilot. Yes, I made a character that's based off of that Archer. See you all Wednesday. Schedule is on the screen, and now on to the video. Since I will be playing Mechwarrior Online, I thought it would be prudent to give it a proper intro, which means that this video series I'm going to show you some basics all the way up to the advanced of how things work, what to look at, what is going on when you both watch the live stream, and understanding the basics of the game itself when you are playing. So sit down, strap yourself in, and prepare to play. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is if you're playing the game, go to the Academy. Go through the basic tutorial, and then go back to the Academy to where you can go to the Academy grounds. From here you can test out all sorts of mechs. You can learn the basic controls of how the mechs functions, target enemies, how to kill them, how to protect yourself, and test out many different kinds of battle mechs with all sorts of weapon configurations that cover every single aspect of the game's basics so you understand what is going on. You may end up spending several hours in here just to get comfortable. And that's fine and respectable. Once you feel like you can hit a moving target with several weapon systems, and you know you can stay alive for a bit, figure out which weapon system you like the best, and understand just the basics of getting cover and how to deal with your enemies, then you can see the advantages and disadvantages of each weapon. Now each weapon system has unique advantages and disadvantages. Ballistics are always heavy. They require ammo. Require lots of space in your mech, and their ammo can explode if it gets hit, killing you. The advantage here is precise damage to where you want to hit the target. They are a fire and forget weapon as well, so you fire them and then you can take defensive action while your weapon cycles. Next, they deal a great deal of cockpit shake and do a lot of explosions on screen, covering up the enemy's ability to shoot back at you, and the higher the caliber, the more it shakes and the larger the explosion, the louder the bang when it hits the target as well. This can unnerve all but the most veteran of players and certainly makes it difficult to aim for everybody. Lastly, they generate a lot less heat, meaning you can fire more shots faster without worrying about overheating your mech and shutting it down. Energy weapons. Require you to train your weapons on the target for extended periods of time, roughly 1 full second for a standard laser. Pulse lasers are only half a second, but they still have to stay on the target. And if they move around on the target, they distribute their damage across multiple sectors of the target rather than in one spot. Ideally, you want one spot. This is all except the PPC, Particle Projection Cannon, which just fires a giant ball of lightning much like a ballistic weapon. All energy weapons, however, regardless of what they are, generate a lot of heat. They have great weapon fall off because you're still doing damage way out there, and with a laser, you can still hit the target, even if it's just for a bare fraction of a second. And generally speaking, though, the medium and small lasers do have very short ranges before they start falling off and not doing their full damage. However, compared to ballistics, you don't need ammo, and there's no chance they will explode. Or in the case of the Gauss rifle, the ammo doesn't explode, the rifle does. They also provide a decent amount of firepower for lighter mechs. Lastly, they require 0 lead time for a target, except PPCs. They still function much like a ballistic weapon. Lastly, you have missiles, which come in 5 varieties: short, medium, long, streak, and advanced tactical. Medium range and advanced tactical are restricted to clan and IS mechs, but we will get to that in a later video. about the differences between clan and inner sphere. Short range and medium missiles do not require a lock. They function exactly like ballistic weapons. They're dumb fire, you just fire them, and wherever you have aimed them is where they're going. However, they travel very slowly compared to a ballistic weapon and may require significant amounts of lead to hit a target. In addition to this, they spread out a lot. All missiles do this. They spread out. And so you don't always hit exactly where you want, spreading the damage over the target until you get closer and closer, except for LRMs and advanced tacticals. All missiles do not travel past their maximum range. If they hit their maximum range, they detonate in air and deal no damage. Some missiles, long range and tactical, also have minimum ranges. This means that if someone gets too close to you, you can't fight back. Your missiles don't do any damage because they don't have time to arm. Streaks are unique in that they are short-range missiles, but they cluster much more tightly on the target, and they won't fire unless you have a lock, established by locking onto the target and getting your reticule over the target for a full second and a half in order to achieve a lock. This lock speed can be improved with various skills and equipment, but that's again something for another video. Now that you understand the basics of mechs, you've completed the Mech Academy, and you understand the very basics of the weapon systems, select a trial mech that has weapons you are most comfortable with. Having spent some time in the Academy, I hope, and played around with the various mechs to get an idea of what all the different weapon systems do and how they act, now press quick play when you're ready with your new trial mech. Trial mechs cannot be refitted, they cannot be adjusted, however they are free and they rotate every week. In the pre-match screen here, you will see temperature, gravity, and surface water, as well as an outline mini-map of the map you're about to fight on. Temperatures between 20 and 45 degrees Celsius are usually no extra heat for your mechs. This means that your mechs are fine to operate in the exact specs that were presented in the mech lab. Again, our next video will discuss the mech lab and how to fit your mechs and what all the numbers mean. Gravity indicates how effective your jump jets will be. The lower the number, the higher your mechs can jump, and the less fall damage you will take. Surface water tells you how many puddles you can run into to help cool your mech down when you're overheated. It also lets you know how efficient your heat sinks will be. If there's zero water, they will not function as well as if there's a ton of water, and therefore a significant amount of humidity in the air. Despite the temperature, they might still be working better. An example of this is Viridian Bog, where the temperature is very high, but because there's a lot of water in the air, your heat sinks still function much better. Now, some information for you. In the lower right, the very bottom of the screen, you will see your armor and internal structure of your mech. Think of armor as a shield that doesn't recharge once it takes damage. Armor damage won't kill you. Unlike in World of Tanks or Armored Warfare, if this takes damage, you don't really care and aren't terribly affected. The stuff under it, though, if that breaks, you start dying. The way you kill a mech is dealing 3 hits to the engine, which is 3 critical slots. Kill the pilot by destroying its head, or blow off both its legs. All other damage removes weapons, heat sinks, and other components that are stored in the sections that have been blown off. Some sides are referred to as soak or shield implements, such as the Centurion's left arm, which is great at shielding from damage because there's nothing in it innately and it holds no weapon systems, but it does provide a good-sized chunk of damage absorption. Be careful when you store ammo, though, because in your mech, an ammunition explosion can kill you very quickly. On the lower left is your weapon systems. For almost all systems, the empty bar means the time to recharge. In the case of gauze, it also shows green, and when the bar is fully green, it is charged and can be fired upon releasing the trigger. Any bar that shows red in it, any amount of red, it doesn't matter, the weapon is still cycling and cannot fire. Lastly, rotary autocannons build up the bar, turning it yellow and then red. When they turn red, your gun has a chance to jam. As soon as you release the trigger, the jam chance goes away and the bar starts to lose and the bar starts to unfill. Excuse me. So, now that you've got a basics for what's on screen, let's approach a target. You need to lock the target as soon as you see it. The default for this is the R key. Please do understand there are systems at play, such as ECM and stealth armor, which may prevent you from locking the target. If you see a mech that doesn't have an icon over its head and it's moving around, it is hostile. Upon locking, you will retrain the target slightly you must retain the target slightly longer than just the initial lock. Initially, you'll get a square around the target. Then after about a half a second, you will see the mech type displayed near the target, as well as the player's name who's riding in that mech. Then your sensors will pick up the mech's current status damage. This is displayed for you in the upper right section. Remember, this is displayed the same way it's displayed for you. So if your right arm is on the right side of the display because you're facing forward and he's facing towards you, his right arm is on the opposite side on your left. His left side is on your right. Please take this into account when you're trying to target individual sectors of the mech you want to destroy. Such as if you want to shoot the right torso, it's going to be the left visually. If you want to shoot the left torso, it's going to be the right visually. I know this takes some getting used to. I still personally do take some time to get used to it, because you have to remember that when you extend your right hand to shake someone's hand, they also extend their right, and it's on opposite sides when you're facing each other. If you're both facing the same way, it's on the same side. In addition to this, after holding the target lock for a full 2 seconds, your sensors will pick up the mech's current weapon loadout and which weapons are working and which ones are not. If a weapon is red, it is either jammed, destroyed, or out of ammunition. The longer you hold the lock and maintain sight to the enemy, the more information you will gain. Furthermore, your allies can now lock targets that you have locked. Gain that same information that you're gaining, even though they don't have line of sight, so long as you maintain the lock. You must maintain line of sight to maintain a lock, or someone else must be maintaining line of sight. If you change your target lock, you will lose some sensor information over time. Now with your trial mech, shoot the target. Remember, the quickest way to kill a mech is to hit it in the center torso. Mechs are divided into several components. The head, where the pilot is sitting. If this is destroyed, it will kill the mech. However, the pilot's cockpit is usually tiny and almost impossible to hit, particularly at high speed. There's the left and right arm, the left and right leg, and then there are 3 torsos, left, right, and center. Center torso will always guarantee a kill. The next easiest way is to blow the legs off. If both legs are removed, the mech is destroyed. This is explained to you in the academy. Lastly, if a mech is equipped with an extra large or light engine rather than a standard, which you will not know without significant experience later, they can be destroyed by blowing off both side torsos, no matter what. By blowing off side torsos, because engine parts are stored there. Clan mechs also have 2 in each side torso for the most part. There are very few clan mechs ever that will use standard engines. Blowing off both side torsos will kill 99% of clan mechs. You will also notice you hit the enemy only in specific spots, and those spots are the ones taking damage. There is no RNG to the amount of damage dealt. There is no RNG to where you hit, except with LBX, which are mech shotguns, and missiles. All of it is up to your skill to aim the weapon properly. This is countered by their skill at twisting away, changing directions, or outright dodging your shots. The winner will be the one who dodges better and aims to deliver more damage in return in general. This is also a reminder not to panic when you are being shot. Try to look for opportunities to shoot back and seek cover from your enemies where they cannot shoot you back, or to fire at them from positions and quickly duck back before they can retaliate. Find ways to protect yourself when you're under fire. When you hear the words incoming missile, get next to a building or a rock, or duck out where the enemy loses line of sight and loses targeting on you. You can assist the rate at which you kill enemies by using voice comms, which are reserved for battle communications. This is a community that tries to be respectful, and to reinforce that respectfulness when people are screaming, rude, or generally unpleasant. The community will get behind you if you correct someone on voice comms for being a dick or tell them to shut up and let you guys fight it. You have the right to tell them off, and it is encouraged to stand up for the person being berated. Furthermore, it is discouraged that you engage in this type of toxic activity. The community is very self-regulating about this and will let you know when you are being a bad person. By using voice comms, you can call a target. Please try to call the alphanumeric speech. A is for Alpha, B is for Bravo, C is for Charlie, and so on, as well as call the mech type. In this case, I would say, please deliver fire to target Alpha, the Kodiak. Please coordinate fire. You, upon hearing this, are looking for a Kodiak type mech with the letter A above his name when you target him. The important thing is to say the group is to stay with the group and stick together. Protect and defend each other. Furthermore, when someone makes a call to go to, say, G4, they would say, team, let's go and group up at Gulf 4. Even if you think it's a bad call, follow it. A bad call is better than none at all. If you have a better suggestion, let the team know. If no one's calling anything, step up and try to get someone to if you don't think you can. And a good example of this is to say, hey guys, where do you want to meet up? And then call your targets as you shoot at them. There is no sense in being dead silent in comms. Remember, communication is overpowered, and there's no way to nerf it. I suggest you wait, however, until you've gotten used to the maps and are really ready to coordinate 11 other screaming players before you do battle calling. Remember, they're not screaming over comms, but they may be screaming at their computer where you can't hear them. In addition to this, if you're having trouble seeing the enemy, it could be because of ECM, stealth armor, or graphics. Graphically wise, you have options to modify brightness or switch to heat vision, H key by default, or N key for night vision. One of these two vision options will always help on a map so you can identify a target. Lastly, you can switch to third person. F3 is the default for third person. It is not recommended, as this view does compromise some of the sound cues when receiving fire, issuing fire, taking damage, overheating, and other things, as well as generally obscures the enemy when they get too close to you and makes it impossible for you to deliver precision shots in a point-blank range brawl. Third person is really only there for new players getting used to the game or for getting screenshots of your own mech. Lastly, you can press the Z key to zoom in and out of target, and there's an option under the Skills tab to unlock Advanced Zoom, giving you an extra ×4 zoom with the V key. Now that you have a basic understanding of the game, try it out. Give it a few matches. I advise not to purchase a mech till you have a general flow of combat and only use trial mechs for a time. I understand you cannot customize these, change them, and you have no control over which ones you get, but it may turn out that the weapon system you thought you liked is not really the one you really want to use. So try out a bunch of different mechs. Just go at it. And it's okay to be bad at the game. Let your teammates help you. Understand that many times when you die, it is your fault. Not someone on your team or someone cheating. You need to stop and remain calm. Getting frustrated or yelling gets you no improvement and only makes you more likely to make more mistakes. But understanding what you did wrong and figuring out how to do better next time will decrease your frustration almost immediately and generally allow you to avoid dying by learning to zig when you should have zagged, by learning to go left into the buildings when you shouldn't have gone right and ended up by yourself. In the next episode, we'll be covering how to build a mech, what to look for as you develop yourself as a mech warrior. These things will include understanding focusing your range, heat management, armor, engines, and other aspects of the mech that are required to understand how to put one together and make it work for you. I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you on the battlefield, mech warriors. Remember, check out the Patreon to support this channel. We are an ad-free channel because of Patreon and Twitch, so therefore those live streams are really important. The tips, bits, subscriptions, and patrons make sure that I can do this job and present it with no advertising. You don't have to worry about ads. If ads are here, it's because someone has copyright claimed the video. I didn't put them there, and I don't benefit from them. Please do check out Fallout Equestria Dead Tree live streams as well as the upcoming Fallout Equestria Dead Tree book, Volume 1. Links in the description below. Lastly, I'm now a Humble Bundle partner. If you want to find out the deals I am in on, join the Discord. I have a channel in the Discord letting you know all the deals I will be in on, and links will be updated every Saturday. Purchasing these keys to get your game not only supports the dev, but also supports myself and the charity I chose, Generations Against Bullying, in addition to usually giving you a better deal than buying the game outright on, say, Steam or your PS4 store. Thanks for watching. Please do leave a like and let me know what other aspects you want me to go over in future videos. I can start making a list and start helping you guys become better mech warriors and better understand the game so you can sit and watch the live stream and be involved. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon for live stream and hopefully tomorrow for another video. Good night, everyone.